I've been a fan of Assassin's Creed since pretty much the first game came out. Since then, the series has gone through a ton of games, and with those games are many gameplay style changes. Assassin's Creed Mirage is a bit different than some of the new releases though, and it's tempting older fans of the series, myself included, by showcasing gameplay true to the style of the Ezio trilogy era. I have about 5 or so hours in the game so far, and here's what I can tell you from my early thoughts in the game. Disclaimer, if you're worried about spoilers, I won't be going over any of the story in this early on video, just gameplay elements and overall feel of the game. The first thing that I'll note is that immediately gameplay wise, it definitely seems like advertisements were spot on, and many of the gameplay elements of the early games are definitely here for the long run of Mirage. Most of what I've experienced has been very stealth based, using the environment such as bushes or benches to blend in with the environments and time assassinations so you can cleverly navigate through whatever area you're really trying to get to. While in cover, you can do a couple things to help you stealthily progress, at least so far. The game on the early side of things gives you a whistle to distract and call over an enemy, which I believe first was showcased in Black Flag, and that's to assassinate them and place them down in the cover that you're hiding in. Not only that, but you're also given throwing knives to damage or take down enemies from different vantage points. This can not only take out an enemy, but draw other enemies to a spot you want to by using the dead body as bait. As the game goes on, it looks like they're going to introduce more tools in Basim, but the main character, by the way, didn't mention that. But Basim's arsenal based on the scroll wheel of options when originally equipping the throwing knives. Eagle Sense also makes a return in this game, letting you scout out enemies as well as treasures and other roadblocks or interactive items you may need. Beyond that, you have the return of a physical hawk which premiered in Origins. You can control the hawk itself to get aerial views of entrance points and enemy markings, just like the previous games that incorporated the mechanic. All these things help move around in the stealthy way that the past few entrants of the series, like Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, really stepped away from. Now, if stealth isn't your thing, you can definitely still go face first into combat if that's your style. That being said, the game definitely doesn't want you to do that and will try to make life much harder for you. Assassin's Creed Mirage introduces a stamina bar during combat that honestly falls pretty quickly, but regenerates just as fast. The main combat outside of stealth features a sword in one hand and a dagger in the other. Similar to games like Jedi Survivor and probably some other Souls-likes that I really haven't played, there are attacks you can parry as well as attacks that you need to dodge, shown by silverish and red indicators when the enemies are attacking. When you do a successful parry, that stamina bar that I was talking about actually regenerates much faster even then. I won't say the face-first combat is too hard, but it's not exactly the easiest either, especially with some armored enemies that you have to dodge and hit around the back. That being said, there was also a moment early on where I decided to test myself, and you can see by the amount of bodies on the floor that straight up combat is a viable option. The only other negative to that would be the return of the notoriety meter. It has 3 phases, and once it fills, supposedly some super strong guards are supposed to hunt you down or something, but I haven't seen that yet, so to be continued. Mirage definitely does a good job of incorporating the feels of old Assassin's Creed games, but definitely brings some of the newer elements to the table as well. I mentioned the hawk before, but there are also many different sword, dagger, outfit, and accessory items that can be obtained by exploring the world and interacting with the chests and the missions around them. All of these are also upgradable via collecting materials and blueprints. Beyond that, there's also a skill tree because why not? The abilities from the skill tree don't look like they have a crazy impact on the game from an early look at them, but they definitely don't hurt to have something to work toward either. The last thing I think I really need to talk about on this early synopsis is the map itself. From what I can tell and how I'm progressing through, it doesn't seem super small, but not overwhelmingly large either. There were games like Valhalla and Odyssey where I was just overwhelmed by this map that feels like you can never get through, whereas this map really feels much more achievable and a little more accomplishable, especially to a dirty completionist like me. Viewpoints are also back, which if you watch this clip, you'll see just how much I love that. Yes! Yes! I'm back! So as you progress, you can get kind of a feel for how the map will unfold. It also feels like the collectibles are well placed and not overwhelming to the point where it feels like a collectathon. Overall, the game feels pretty solid from an early standpoint. Not to say it doesn't have its issues, mainly some graphical things and some parkour jank, but what old Assassin's Creed fan doesn't love some good old parkour jank? That being said, the game definitely feels like a proper homage to the early titles of Assassin's Creed, but with a bit of a facelift and some quality of life additions. It also doesn't hurt that the game is currently $50 and not the common $70 price tag that you see nowadays on most AAA titles. Overall, if you're a fan of the Ezio trilogy through Unity or Syndicate, somewhere in that area, my early read is that you're probably going to enjoy this entry into the series. If you liked the video and made it this far, maybe do the YouTube stuff. You know, like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Once I finish this game up, I'll be making a more extensive review and really will dive in depth to how it compares and contrasts in both the good ways and bad ones to all the previous entries in the series. Until then, thanks for watching!